Hi, my name is Jamie Rue, and today I'm going to talk about Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Okay, so for those of you that don't know who the Vlog Brothers are, John and Hank Green, Vlog Brothers channel, linked somewhere, I don't totally know where. They also run SciShow and Crash Course and Healthcare Triage and Sexplanations and a whole bunch of other stuff on the internet. They co-created VidCon, although Hank Green eventually took over more of that side. If you are a big YouTube person, you might have heard of them. If you are a big book person, you've probably heard of John Green because he is the author of The Fault in Our Stars and Paper Towns and Looking for Alaska, Abundance of Catherines, Will Grayson, and also contributed to Let It Snow. He co-wrote Will Grayson with David Levithan. This is his first book in 6 years since The Fault in Our Stars. And, yeah, it's a thing. It's about a girl. Her name is Asa Holmes, and she has OCD. And, also, a billionaire in her town has just disappeared, and there is a $100,000 reward for any pertinent information leading to finding him. And she used to know this billionaire's son, whose name is Davis. That's what this book is about. Now, last night, I went to the first stop of John Green's book tour. Hank Green is also touring with him. Insert clips of me fangirling. I have my Pizza John shirt on. Oh my god. Okay, wait, it's signed in purple Sharpie. Insert John Green coming out and being him and also reading a very small snippet of this book. No spoilers, I promise.
That was such a warm reception, I forgot what I was going to say, but what I was going to say is my name. You're watching TV with your mom, this show about time-traveling crime solvers, and you remember a boy holding your hand, looking at your finger, and then a thought occurs to you out of nowhere. You should unwrap that Band-Aid and check to see if there's an infection. You don't actually want to do this. It's just an invasive. Everyone has them. But you can't shut yours up. Since you've had a reasonable amount of cognitive behavioral therapy, you tell yourself, I am not my thoughts, even though deep down you're not sure exactly what that makes you.
And, here's this.
Lawrence Turtleman. I am a doctor of turtle studies at University of Turtles. And I was asked by the Green Brothers to give you a presentation today. I'm not entirely sure why.
And here's a snippet of them doing a live episode of their podcast, Dear Hank and John.
Hello and welcome to Dear Hank and John. I prefer to think of it as Dear John and Hank. It's a comedy podcast about death where two brothers answer your questions, give you news, advice, and bring you all the week's news from both Mars and AFC Wimbledon. John, how you doing?
A little stressed out.
And lots of nerdy music by Hank Green, because of course.
Pork is a fundamental constituent of matter observed in 1968 through deep elastic scatter. We found that protons aren't as simple as we thought. We thought they were solid particles, but they are not.
I know most of the lyrics to that Quark song, but in any case, I'm clearly a big John Green fan. I am wearing his face on my torso right now, but I just want to first say, before I get into my thoughts about this book, that will not ever influence my opinion about a book, whether or not I've liked the author in the past or I still like them. That will not ever influence me at all. In fact, I have a video coming up that kind of roasts an author that I really like, but like not purposefully, and I don't think he has any ill intention, but just I have opinions, and my opinion of this book is that I love it. I love this book. I love this book so much. It's not like a fangirly love where I'm like, oh my god, this is the best book ever because, oh my god, this couple is so cute. No, it's like, this is one of the most real books I've read ever, like in my life. So I mentioned that the main character of this book has OCD. I have anxiety, I have depression. I've often thought I had OCD, but I probably don't, but also I might have a mild case. I'm also a hypochondriac, so I think I have like everything. So I'm not the person to judge this, especially the anxiety portions. I don't know how closely linked OCD and anxiety are, but Asa goes on these things called thought spirals where like basically she gets caught in thoughts that she is not controlling. 100%. Like throughout this book, it was just 100% relatable. So John Green yesterday said this thing about how just because you read a book doesn't mean you know what it's like to be living another person's life. Like it helps you empathize, but it doesn't totally tell you what another person's life is like. And I agree with that on every level, but I also think that this is the closest I've ever come to knowing what another person is like, what it's like to be living inside of another human being, because that's what this was. This book wasn't so much a book as it was a character study and also a literal chunk of someone else's life written down. The fact that it was so introspective and the fact that Aza was in her head so much allows you to be in her head with her, which is incredibly compelling. I talked about character-driven novels in a video a while back, and I talked about this book called The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness, and the main character in that book also has OCD. And I think if you read that book, and then you read this book, you will very clearly see what I was talking about in that book, where there's not nearly enough introspection of that character to have OCD be the main problem there that the character is facing, because there just isn't enough for the reader to grasp. But this, you are constantly inside of Aza's thoughts and inside the anxiety that she is having, and it's one of the most compelling things I've ever read. And it's also just, I don't want to say relatable, it's like relatable. And it's relatable even when whatever is written doesn't necessarily apply to you in the exact way. Like there's a part where Aza says, and even though I laughed with them, it felt like I was watching the whole thing from somewhere else. Like I was watching a movie about my life instead of living it. So she's with 3 other people right now, and she feels like an outsider, and that's how I feel whenever I'm in a group of people. I don't feel like I'm part of that group. I feel like I'm watching a movie about my own life, and I just like happen to be sitting there and like watching it. I might not be feeling it for the exact same reasons that Aza is feeling it, but I feel it. And there are moments like that throughout this book that are just, they're beautiful, and they make Aza so real. And it's not even just Aza that makes this book real, it's all of the characters, and it's all of the situations they're in, it's all of the different facets of life that John Green manages to explore in freaking, how many pages was this? In only 286 pages? I don't understand how he managed to do this. I am genuinely fascinated by the fact that John Green put someone's life in this book. I just don't understand. If anyone ever says that John Green is a bad writer, I will show them this book and I will say you are wrong. I genuinely can't think of something bad to say about this book. I loved this book, and you need to read it. Like, you need to. If you haven't read this, or if you're not planning to read it, you have to, even if you don't like John Green, for whatever reason, because it's just so good. It's so good. It's like, you know, that really heart-wrenching scene in The Fault in Our Stars at the gas station, if you've read The Fault in Our Stars. So much of this book was that. Not as heart-wrenching, but it was that. And it was like that level of feeling throughout the book, and it was so good. And I loved it. I loved everything about it. And I also loved that it was like the best character-driven novel I've ever read, and it still had a very, very tangible plot with the whole like missing billionaire thing. It was so good. So good. John Green, I don't know how you did this. I genuinely don't understand. I wish I could write this well. I'm sorry if like you're probably never ever going to see this, but he says a lot about how like he feels pressure because everyone thinks his writing is so good and he thinks he can't live up to it. You lived up to The Fault in Our Stars. You surpassed it. I don't understand how, but this is now in my top 5 favorite books ever, just because of how real it is, how different it is from basically any other book I've ever read. And I love this book. Thank you for writing it. If you don't have any interest in hearing about spoilers from this book, as I was editing, I realized it would be 30 minutes long. I'm splitting my review into 2 parts. This is the spoiler-free section, and there will be a spoiler section coming shortly. I am also posting footage that I took at the Turtles All the Way Down tour stop, so there's going to be a Turtles All the Way Down trilogy video series on my channel. That's a thing. Sorry that my face doesn't have makeup on it, and I will see you very, very soon with part 2. Alright, bye!